Hi, Alyson. Nice to have you here.
Hello, Shannon. How are you?
Good, thank you. So I just decided to ask you to come along tonight, because we've both been exposed to Creatrix. We've both had such amazing results from doing the process. So I just wanted ladies out there to hear how it's been for you, like how it's affected you, why you even were drawn to the process in the first place, and the amazing results that you've got since you've done it. So, over to you because I know that you like to have a chat.
Oh yeah, never short of a word. So where do I start? How about what drew me to Creatrix to start with? Do you want to hear that journey?
Yeah, that sounds great.
It's a really interesting one. And it actually involves a tattoo. So
Uh-huh.
very interesting. Here's my tattoo. How do I get that on the
Oh, nice.
there's my tattoo. And
Beautiful.
get my bracelet out of the road. Down here
Uh-huh.
is the roots in my heart chakra. And that is a intuitive tattoo, which means the tattooist, she does a reading first. And so it's just like she's drawing in from the guides what she needs to draw. And I have motherwort, I have scabiosa, and the moon crystal. And in that has come a lot of wisdom from my ancestors. Now, I got this tattoo for my 50th birthday from my kids. It was a gift. And the week I went and got this tattoo was a week after I had discovered Creatrix. And I was at a point in my life where I was having a full-on breakdown. And life was, just absolutely, I would say, at a point of emotional, physical, just absolute shutdown. Like it was really, the lowest point I think I've ever been at. And the kids bought me this for my birthday, and I went and literally read this reading. And in the reading, part of it said, you were sent here to heal hearts. And
No.
if I had been prepared, I could have had it to read, but it's just amazing.
Wow.
And it said you're going to be really frustrated because you just can't see how that is even possible at the time right now, but you need to just trust when the time is right. The doors will open, and just trust the ancestors. This is what you're here for, and your path is opening up. And so it was just like, and I was looking at this Creatrix, and it was costing all this money. And I was just like, oh my gosh, because it just made so much sense to me when I found it. It talked about epigenetics and healing a heart. And I had started trying to heal my journey, my adoption journey. And I had used traditional methods, which I have been trained in myself. So I knew that there were ways to help the emotion, but I found it was bringing up all my adoption trauma. It was bringing stuff to the surface, but I was then like left with it, and it was really causing me a lot more distress as well. And nobody at work or anything knew what I was going through. We were going under a lot of financial stress with the business, the few years with COVID and everything happening, relationship issues. I was so resentful because of life had just been turned upside down. I wasn't on my path because I was a Domino's franchisee at this time, but I'm actually qualified as a naturopath. So it was like this journey had come, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm 50. What am I doing? Washing up dishes in a Domino's store, working my ass off here. And, why has my life come to this? Like, what the hell? So everything was happening, menopausal as well. And so I was a bit of a mess, you could say. And I was pretty wondering how I could afford to do this Creatrix. Like, we were financially struggling with the business. Anyway, we had a camper trailer that we'd had for many years, and we hardly ever got to use it because of work and everything else. And Damien said, just sell that. And so we did. And it was so amazing. We sold it for like that, and got the cash, and the exact amount left over from when we paid the rest of the loan off with it was the exact amount I needed for a deposit with Creatrix. So it was like I could pay that big deposit and then pay the rest off for 12 months. So it was like, that's it. Back. And it was quite a big conversation. And the biggest thing for me was letting go of feeling responsible for everybody else. That was my number one breakthrough that I had to deal with. And even through the whole process with Domino's, like, it took, well, that was in 2020. By the time I did my training, it was the end of 2020, because it took me 6 months to get stuff sorted. But anyway, so 2021, what year are we in now? 2023. Yeah, so by 2022, I placed one business into liquidation. I walked away from it without feeling like a failure, without feeling responsible for everyone else, without feeling like all of those things that I had before, that why I couldn't, why, yeah. And then in December the same year, we sold the second business as well. And then sold our house, our investment unit. We've literally cleared everything, sold everything, paid off debts, got a little bit left over. We're both, Damien's not mining anymore, so his whole career has changed. So literally, either of us have a job at the moment, and I'm back on my path to be a naturopath. And I just feel it would not have happened without Creatrix. Like, that has been my journey. And the big one is that feeling responsible for everyone else. And that had to clear to allow me to come back up out of myself. And now I'm really working on my whole adoption healing. And it's funny because as a naturopath, and why I left it in the first place is people go, well, how did that happen? Why? Blah, blah. Because I realized that you can't make people be better. Like, you can't just give them pills and potions to make them better. No matter how good they are, there's still a certain amount that has to be from within, that they want to get better. And I personally know what it's like to have no self-worth. I could have all the pills and potions on the cupboard, but I wouldn't take them. I knew what I should be doing, but I wouldn't do it for myself. I was so busy wanting to fix everybody else, so we avoid us. And also that whole, the dominoes side of things also was because I went through another journey of rejection in my whole adoption story after I found my birth mother again. And I think now I look back and I just go, it makes so much sense, the timing now. It was like, that's what spiraled me then into dominoes. It was like, F the world, I'll show you what I can do. And, because everyone's like, how are you going to manage running a business? You've got 4 young kids at home. Your husband works away from home. You've got no support network. How are you going to do this? And I was just like, I'll show you, like I've always, and I did. I won best store in Australia, New Zealand. So I did show them. But that's the whole, you just, that was my drug of choice. Just work. Just keep doing. You don't be, you just do. So I'm on that journey of rewinding all of that and learning how to just be and be me and my voice. And that's why my business is Your Authentic Self, because to me, it's really important to be able to have that freedom to come out from behind what I call the mask of adoption. Is like, you play that character that you've been assigned with. And it's like to keep everybody else happy, to feel safe, to be accepted. And the interesting part of the journey is what I've realized is it doesn't matter how loved like my adopted family were, there's still lots of bits missing, and you still have that internal struggle and that subconscious voice that still doesn't matter how much anyone tells you how wonderful you are, how can you do everything, or you're great and all, put you on the pedestal. It just still doesn't mean anything here. So actually now stepping into my own self, especially after my self-esteem reset, to step into really that whole voice of just, I just don't give a shit what anybody thinks about what I'm saying, and to actually really feel it, not how that saying is, fake it till you make it. Man, it's not until you actually really feel it that you can giggle and go, oh, is that it? Wow, it's just the bomb, isn't it? It's just so freeing.
And your face lit up as you were saying that. You could see the freedom. You could see it.
It is. It really, really, really is. It's not a like, yeah, you still have your moments and you still have your waves, that come across and go, oh, who do you think you are? You can't do this. You can't achieve that. And it lasts for about a few minutes, maybe at the worst sometimes. And then you turn around and you go, oh, what? Yeah, whatever. Okay, get on with it. There's the goal. That's what I'm doing. Nobody can tell me otherwise. I'm that's just where I'm aiming. That's where I'm heading. And there's nothing going to stop me, like, and just keep throwing the challenges at me. And there are challenges. Like, there's no doubt about that. But those challenges only last a little bit. They're not wiping me off my. Oops, I think I just froze.
Yep, you did cut out. Yes. The challenges aren't.
The challenge, see, it was telling me a sign. Yeah. They don't last as long anymore. And when they do, you sort of actually can recognize. I threw a little tanty the other day, and it was just all over a bit of something. And what you would usually last a couple of days in a big fight was just, an hour later, after Damon had gone shopping and come back with my organic coconut milk and a few things. And he goes, "Is this the right one that you want?" I go, "It doesn't matter what they are." He goes, "Yes, it does. Apparently, it has to be the right milk, check them." So it was like, but even his response to me has changed. And then I was able to go in and give him a hug. And so I just need a cuddle. There's just a lot going on at the moment. So I'm just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, need a hug. And then it was moved on. Whereas before it would have just been.
Yeah.
So it just blows me away. It ripples out and just changes so much around you. Like, and that's what I love about it, because I really do think, to me, it's heal the heart, then heal the body. And I still get caught up in all the pathology and all of the science and all of that, but you just know that and it's just because not everybody's ready to heal. Like, at the end of the day, everybody is on their own journey. And I think I've realized it's not my responsibility to fix them. It's not my responsibility to tell them when it's ready for them to fix them. I just want to be here for those who are ready for me. And honestly, that is huge. I thought I had to fix everyone and everyone would have to come to me. And I, felt very challenged by other practitioners, the way they do things or not, the whole, man, all I want to do now is collaborate and connect with others and work together and build each other up as a community. Like, and before it wasn't anything that I thought I was good. It was because I thought I wasn't good enough. I was comparing myself to others. And now it's just like, no, it's okay. I'm just going to do things my way, and I will attract those who want me to do that way for them. It's just so, like, it just feels it's just the logistics to get it done I'm having trouble with. So I just need my little team underneath me to do that. And because my little brain goes, and I don't want to change that, because I know that's my creativity now. I'm really embracing, and that's okay. That's the way you see the bigger picture. And while I'm running ahead, I just need someone at the back end going, okay, while she's off on that tangent, we just need to steer this and this and then put this in order, and that's flowing and that's done. Because that's where I get bogged down and left behind. I'm too busy trying to get that perfect.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I've already got another idea and another transition.
Off on another tangent.
Yeah, I've just got, even Damien sits there. Sometimes he looks at me, shakes his head, and he goes, "How the hell do you think you're going to do that and that and that and that and that and that?" So
I'm getting a team.
I will, because I will have the people with me who can just do what I need them to do. And
absolutely.
Oh my God, is there such a thing as being able to ask for help?
Oh,
tell me about that secret. Like, you have to do everything thyself.
Yes, so good when we learn we don't have to do that, and there actually are people out there that want to help us if we just allow them to.
Yeah. So it's just opening up that, and all of a sudden the right people appear.
Yeah.
So
now,
yeah,
I need to hear something about a book launch.
Yeah, that's just one of those little ticks.
Tell us about that.
I actually came home, driving home from work when I was at Domino's one day, and I raced in the house and I said to the girls, quick, I've got to write down the name of my book. And they looked at me and they went, "You're going to write a book?" And I went, yeah, one day. And it's going to be called Living Behind the Mask of Adoption. I've got this, mask of adoption. And I thought that was pretty cool because everyone's getting around with masks. So I thought, oh, that's a pretty spin. And they're just like, "Yeah, rightio, Mum." And I honestly, at that moment, I just had this little glimmer of one day I will do that, but had absolutely no idea how, why, when, and whatever. And then this year up popped in my field, I guess you could say, this opportunity with other authors as a multi-authored book. And the title was Beyond Certainty. So for me, it really resonated because I just started digging into a little bit more into the whole field of trauma and adoption. And for me, it was like I have lived in uncertainty from the day I was conceived, literally. Like my mum tried to commit suicide when she found out she was pregnant with me. And then obviously the birth and then adoption. And then, you know, mum and dad got divorced and then mum remarried. We kept moving house. So there was no, you know, certainty in my life. Everything was always constantly changing. So that sort of, it really spoke to me. And also with what I was going through at that time and the transition of we just sold everything and we were literally, you know, at this whole point of walking away from some security and certainty with a job and a mortgage and a house and a business. Because we'd gotten rid of the bad one. The other one still had a bit of debt, but at least it was making profit. But you still had the uncertainty because you just never knew when the staff would up and leave. Like I've dealt with that for 13 years. So that was also a reason to sell it, because it was like, I'm still responsible for it all. I couldn't walk away and, you know, you always have your phone on, blah, 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 blah. But it was like, oh, letting go of that to do this. There is no guaranteed financial with this yet. And Damien lost his job because of the mandates, and then lost his job again at one of the other mine sites, and he's just mentally, emotionally burnt out as well. And for us to make this decision to be at the point where both of us are literally having our midlife breakdown crisis and change, like it was, you know, I was like, that wasn't the way I quite planned it. That we were literally standing on the edge, and we had to re-sign our lease on this house. We're just renting. And that in itself, after owning your own home for 30 something years, and then with everything going on in the world around us, we could quite say there's a lot of uncertainty happening. And I knew that if we didn't get to stay in this lease, like to go to apply for another lease, neither one of us had a job. We didn't have enough money to buy another, you know, like you can't. So there's a lot of angst at that time. So the book, those words, it all just made sense to me. It was just like, yeah, I've got to do this. This is a time that I've just, and once again, there was no financial at the time. You know, we had spent all our money on renovating the house, and we had it up for sale, and we were literally at that point of, you know, where everything was just like, oh my gosh. And here I was investing in publishing in a book, and I just went, no, I've really got to do this. I'm going to do this. And I had no idea what I was doing, and who knows, like it may not be perfect, but it's done. And that was the lesson I learned. Done is better than perfect. And it's just a step into it. And now I can say, oh, I'm a published author. And if everybody gets behind me on Friday and buys it in that first 3 hours, we might be a Amazon bestseller list. And it's going to be an amazing, amazing book, because there's so many journeys of other people who have shared their life journey through certainty and uncertainty in many different ways. And so it's going to be a very empowering book, I think, because of where we are in the whole universal structural side of things with change. And so I feel it's going to be a very uplifting and inspiring book. I'm a bit nervous about how my chapter might read in up along others. There's a lot of other already published authors and, you know, a lot of good stuff. But at the same time, I'm actually just feeling okay. Like, it is what it is. And it's just my story, and it's the way it came out. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I hope somebody, you know, like I really hope other adoptees get some hope out of it, to know that you can change and you don't have to live in that silence, I guess is what it is, in the shoulds. and you can break free from that and find your own self again. And also for people who have never experienced adoption or didn't really know anyone who is adopted, like there's a lot of people out there that don't really understand what the journey means. And I hope they learn a little bit out of it as well, like just to understand that security isn't the end of it, you know, like there's a lot more that needs to go into, I guess, how would you say, like resilience and emotional stability. There's a lot more than just a roof over your head and, you know, love in one form or another. And which is really, like my adopted parents loved me. I know that they did the best they could, and it's not their fault. And it's not that I'm blaming adoption. Like, it's hard because people think that you go into a victim mode, and it's like, no, but I'm allowed to talk about it because it does cause physiological trauma. There's no doubt about it. Whether whatever the intentions are, there is still that physiological trauma at that birth or earlier, like the stress hormones. We know that. And it's not just adoptees. I know that too. But for me, we need to raise awareness to say there is that trauma for every single adoptee.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a taboo subject. And I think now that on the greater scheme of things, people are starting to talk about childhood trauma and understand the connection and the depth, you know, the somatic and the nervous system. And I think that's opening this conversation. So, yeah. So it's something I'm passionate about. And I really hope to be a little bit more of an advocate and a voice and speak. It's my goal. Like, I want to do Speakers Institute training. So I'm doing that at the moment as well in the next 6 months. I want to get up on a platform and I want to talk about it. I want to be open about it. I want to create that conversation and, just keep generating awareness. Like, people have got to be able to express.
Yeah, for sure. And did you want to do any of that before Creatrix, or is this passion and this drive come after doing it?
I've always been, you know, like I've not found it difficult to be on stage. Like, I've done, you know, the school plays and modeling, and in a small country town though, where you have your security blanket and where you know everybody. I never thought that I would do that in a area or a place where it is just total strangers and peers and just this total different level. Like, so yeah, no, there's one level of it, but it has, Creatrix has opened the confidence into this whole other, you know, like tomorrow night I'm going to Kerwin Ray. He's doing some AI thing and I've got a VIP ticket and I'm going on my own. Like, I would never have gone to any of the conferences or anything like that unless I had somebody else that I knew. You know, like, I just wouldn't just rock up to something on my own and sit there. And it's just there. It's that level of that next step up confidence that has opened for me. Like, and wholeheartedly just not worrying about what other people think, like finding my own comfort zone with who I am is just such a because it's just weird because other people have always seen me as confident, but they didn't know what you battle inside. They don't know what you're thinking constantly inside. They don't know. It's all such a front. Whereas now, so that's why some of my close friends that have known me for a long time see a difference, but probably don't, you know, really, you know, it's hard to explain. But for me, it's a real, just absolute no. I just do not feel like I have to please anyone else. Like, I just feel free. I just feel free to make my own mistakes, to learn from them, and to just keep climbing up that ladder.
Fantastic.
So it's going to be,
Love it.
It's going to be
Love
interesting.
it. Now, if you had any words to ladies that are watching this that are considering doing Creatrix, what would you say to them?
Oh, you deserve it. You're worth it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you are worth it. I think it's the best thing. And it's not an easy journey. I'm not going to say it's a quick fix, wave a magic wand and you're just going to walk away. Like, you will have your learnings and you will have your moments where you just go, ah. And then it's like the phoenix rises out of the ash. Like, it's just such, but you got to be ready for change, but you deserve the change. Like, stop kidding yourself that you're going to wait for the perfect time, the perfect person, the perfect moment, all of the bullshit. Like, you deserve that now. And yeah, just don't wait. Don't put it off. Like, oh man, if I could have released this and been this person 20, 30 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
like, wow. But that's okay too. Like, we're on our
Yes.
journey. I've come to peace with timing is right for us for whatever reason. So just, feel into that and the right timing will come. But yeah, oh gosh, if you have the opportunity, and I know, like for me, it was a huge investment. It was a huge financial investment at a time when that money probably should have gone to other things like, the, you know, bills and ATOs and whatever's. But I just had to break out of that and just go, I did. I was hitting my rock bottom. And when you get to that point where you can't see any other option but taking yourself out, like, that's not a good place to be. And I was just glad that this came along at the right time and opened the doors, even though I was one of those difficult ones. I only opened the door a little bit at a time. So
Have a
it's
little
taken,
peek. Yeah, nah.
oh,
I just shut that.
it's taken me a few years, and but that's okay too. Like, all in its time. There's a big journey to unravel for me, and yeah, but look at what I've moved. That 1 year, 2 stores gone, and one store we were trying to sell for 4 years, and
Wow.
it was, it was like, make your mind up, and then I'd flip and flop and flip and flop. Can I? Can't I? No, I can't. Yes, I will. No, I can't. All of this stuff. And okay, can't. No, I'll do this. Then the universe would slap you in the side of the head saying, idiot, make up your mind. You can't have both. It was just like this, but once I went, no, that's it. I am done. And literally it was clearing that, responsible for everyone. Like, it took a bit, but we got that. We finally nailed that and got that out of there. And then it was like, right, that's it. I'm done, ready to go. And the funniest thing, in one of my sessions, I will never forget this. In one of my sessions, the vision I had afterwards, like, it was one of the pre-tests or something. And after the pre-test, it was like, what are you seeing? What are you doing? And it was like, oh, I'm just, it was like at the shop. And I'd walked in and all the staff were there, and I turned around and just went, see yous, and walked out and skipped out. And I had this florally dress on, which I don't wear dresses. And I had this bright florally dress on, and I just saw me skipping out the road, and I just had not a care. And it was just like all the responsibility was lifted. So that was the, the testing before and after.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, the night that I sold the business, a few girlfriends and I went out for dinner that night. And I was like, oh, what am I going to wear for dinner? And I happened to buy this yellow floral dress at Target that was on sale for like $10 or something. And I went, oh, that's pretty. I never wear yellow. And I just got this dress and put my denim jacket on, and off I went. We're walking home from the Chinese restaurant, which is down the road, to Macca's. And because in Chinchilla, that's where you go for dessert. And I could have been in the car driving with a girlfriend, but I said, no, drop me out here. I'll get out and walk with the girls, because we walked straight past the Domino's shop. As we're walking past, I called in to say hello to everyone, saw that they weren't using scales, had my little and I just went, not my problem. Okay, see you. And I turned around, skipped out of there. And it wasn't until that moment I turned around and I went, oh my God, I totally manifested all of that. Like, just things that happened to just really, it was like the universe saying, thank you very much, tick, done. Move on, thank you. So it was, yeah, it's just been an amazing journey. The last few years have been absolutely crazy. And
Yeah, sounds it.
but even something else with, I would say, over these last few years, because I was going through this journey of finding myself and my strength. And while the rest of the world's getting, censored and everything's happening, there was quite a bit of a struggle because I was finding my voice through that as well, and finding I was getting shut down. And that was my voice of who I was 20 years ago and 28 years ago with my eldest son. So I'm very strong in that belief. And I honestly, with Creatrix, like just giving me that strength as well, because I was clearing a lot of that external, and family members and other things going on, that I just powered through it. I was actually able to just stand in my own strength. The network I have built throughout those few years, the connections, like it's just been great. And I just think, oh, thank God I had Creatrix through all of that. And all my sisters, like just didn't feel the effects of a lot of others have. And at a time when you usually would be very isolated, especially when you start, when you're commenting on things that others don't want me to say, geez. But yeah, so it was just so much of a whirlwind all rolled up into one ball those few years. So yeah, and I'm very grateful for Creatrix and Maz's absolute brilliance in the design and pushing through. I'm glad I've stuck to it, because there's a few times that you sort of go, oh, can I do this? I haven't done any. I haven't used it for anyone. I'm really slack. I'm not getting through this myself. But no, like I said, it's just all in its own purpose and timing, and you just trust in that and move forward. And then all of a sudden,
we've written a book.
We've written a book, and and we've learning how to be a public speaker, and
yes,
a little podcasty thing, and it's all happening. So
I look forward to seeing you out there on the stage helping many people.
yeah, thank you. I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. And super grateful also for you joining me tonight. So thank you for sharing your story with everyone out there.
I hope somebody gets something out of it, because I do like to chit chat a bit.
Oh, hey, why not? That's like a woman's trait. We all love it.
I'm a storyteller. My number one, connection and communication.
Awesome. Thanks, Alyson.
Thanks, Shannon. Lovely.
Bye.
Bye.